Welcome, seekers of wisdom and truth. Today, we're going to explore an ancient teaching that has the power to fundamentally alter your perception of reality. This teaching, passed down through generations of spiritual masters, holds within it the key to unlocking a profound understanding of the universe and our place within it. The teaching we're about to discuss is both simple and complex. It's a concept that can be expressed in a single sentence, yet its implications are so vast that entire lifetimes can be spent exploring its depths. This teaching is the idea that reality is not fixed, but malleable. That our perceptions, beliefs, and actions shape the world around us in ways more profound than most of us realize. At its core, this teaching challenges the notion that we are passive observers of an objective reality. Instead, it posits that we are active participants in the creation of our experiences. This idea isn't new. It's been expressed in various forms across cultures and throughout history. From ancient Eastern philosophies to modern quantum physics, this concept has persistently emerged, suggesting that there's a fundamental truth here that transcends cultural and temporal boundaries. But what does it mean to say that reality is malleable? How can we as individuals possibly have the power to bend reality? To understand this, we need to first examine our assumptions about what reality is.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lessons.
Most of us go through life believing that there's an objective world out there that exists independently of our perceptions. We assume that what we see, hear, and experience is a direct representation of this objective reality. But is this really the case? Consider for a moment the process of perception. When you look at an object, light reflects off that object and enters your eyes. This light is then converted into electrical signals that travel to your brain. Your brain then interprets these signals, creating the image you perceive. But is the image in your mind identical to the object in the world? Not necessarily. Our brains are constantly filtering, interpreting, and sometimes even inventing information based on our past experiences, expectations, and beliefs. This means that what we perceive as reality is actually a construction of our minds, heavily influenced by our internal state. This isn't to say that there isn't an external world, but rather that our experience of that world is far more subjective than we typically realize. Our perceptions are colored by our beliefs, our emotions, our past experiences, and even our current physical state. Two people can look at the same situation and see entirely different things because they're viewing it through the lens of their own unique perspective. Understanding this is the first step in grasping how we can bend reality. If our experience of reality is shaped by our internal state, then by changing our internal state, we can change our experience of reality. But this teaching goes even further. It suggests that not only does our internal state affect our perception of reality, but it can also influence external events. This is where many people struggle with the concept, because it seems to contradict our understanding of cause and effect. How can our thoughts or beliefs possibly influence events in the physical world? To understand this, we need to expand our view of causality. In the Western scientific tradition, we're accustomed to thinking in terms of linear cause and effect. A causes B, which causes C, and so on. But many ancient traditions, as well as some modern scientific theories, suggest that reality operates in a more interconnected, non-linear way. In this view, everything in the universe is interconnected. Our thoughts, beliefs, and actions are not separate from the world around us, but are an integral part of it. Just as a stone dropped in a pond creates ripples that affect the entire surface, our internal state creates ripples in the fabric of reality. This doesn't mean that we can simply wish for something and have it magically appear. The process is subtler and more complex than that. It's about aligning our thoughts, beliefs, and actions in a way that shifts the probabilities of certain outcomes. Think about it this way. Every moment, you're faced with countless possible futures. The choices you make, the thoughts you entertain, the beliefs you hold, all of these influence which of these possible futures becomes your reality. By consciously working with this process, you can bend reality towards the outcomes you desire. But here's where many people misunderstand this teaching. It's not about controlling reality through sheer force of will. It's about aligning yourself with the flow of the universe, understanding the interconnected nature of all things, and working in harmony with the natural forces around you. This requires a profound shift in perspective. Instead of seeing yourself as separate from the world, struggling against external forces, you begin to see yourself as an integral part of the cosmic dance. Your actions become less about imposing your will on the world and more about aligning yourself with the greater flow of existence. This shift in perspective can have profound effects on every aspect of your life. When you truly internalize this teaching, you begin to see opportunities where before you saw only obstacles. You start to notice the subtle synchronicities and connections that were always there, but that you previously overlooked. You become more attuned to the rhythms of the universe, able to flow with them rather than struggle against them. But how do we actually put this teaching into practice? It begins with awareness. Start paying close attention to your thoughts, beliefs, and expectations. Notice how they color your perceptions and influence your actions. Are there limiting beliefs that are shaping your reality in ways you don't desire? Are there patterns of thought that are closing you off to possibilities? Once you've developed this awareness, you can begin to consciously choose your thoughts and beliefs. This doesn't mean engaging in wishful thinking or denial of reality. Rather, it's about choosing to focus on possibilities rather than limitations, on solutions rather than problems. For example, if you're facing a challenging situation, instead of thinking, "This is impossible," try shifting to, "There's a solution here that I haven't seen yet." This simple shift in perspective can open you up to new ideas and opportunities that you might have otherwise missed. Another key aspect of this teaching is the importance of alignment between your thoughts, feelings, and actions. It's not enough to simply think positive thoughts. You need to embody them in your emotions and your behavior. If you're thinking, "I am confident and capable," but your body language and actions convey insecurity, you're sending mixed signals to the universe. This alignment requires practice and patience. It's about gradually retraining your mind and body to be in harmony with your highest aspirations. This might involve practices like visualization, affirmations, or embodiment exercises. The key is consistency, making these practices a regular part of your daily life. Another crucial aspect of this teaching is the recognition of the power of the present moment. Many of us spend our lives dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, missing the incredible power that lies in the now. The present moment is where reality is created. It's the point of power where you can make choices that will shape your future. By learning to be fully present, you become more aware of the subtle cues and opportunities that the universe is constantly presenting. You become more responsive to the flow of life, able to make decisions from a place of clarity rather than reactivity. This focus on the present moment doesn't mean ignoring the future or forgetting the past. Rather, it's about using the power of now to create the future you desire, informed by the wisdom of your past experiences. As we conclude this first part of our exploration, I want you to reflect on this. How might your life change if you truly believed that you had the power to bend reality? How would you approach challenges differently? What possibilities might open up that you've never considered before? Remember, This teaching is not about gaining control over the external world. It's about realizing that the distinction between internal and external is not as clear-cut as we often believe. It's about recognizing your role as a co-creator of your reality and stepping into that role with awareness, intention, and alignment. In the next part of our discussion, we'll explore some specific techniques and practices for working with this ancient teaching. We'll look at how to overcome the mental and emotional barriers that often prevent us from fully embracing this perspective. And we'll discuss how to navigate the challenges and responsibilities that come with this newfound power. Until then, I encourage you to start observing your reality with fresh eyes. Notice how your thoughts and beliefs are shaping your experiences. Pay attention to the moments when you feel in flow with the universe and the moments when you feel resistance. These observations will be invaluable as we continue our journey into the depths of this transformative teaching. As we delve deeper into this ancient teaching, let's explore how we can practically apply these principles to bend our reality. Remember, this isn't about controlling the world around us through sheer force of will, but rather about aligning ourselves with the flow of the universe and consciously participating in the creation of our experience. One of the most powerful tools we have for bending reality is our attention. Where we place our focus has a profound impact on our experience of reality. This isn't just a matter of positive thinking, it's about consciously directing our awareness in a way that opens us up to new possibilities. Think about it. Have you ever decided to buy a certain type of car, and suddenly you start seeing that car everywhere? The cars were always there, but they weren't part of your reality until you started paying attention to them. This same principle applies to all aspects of our lives. If we consistently focus on problems and limitations, that's what our reality will be filled with. But if we train ourselves to focus on opportunities and possibilities, we'll start to see them everywhere. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges or living in denial. It's about choosing where to place the bulk of our attention. Try this. For the next week, make a conscious effort to look for beauty and kindness in your daily life. Notice the small acts of generosity, the moments of natural beauty, the instances of human connection. You might be surprised at how much your reality shifts just through this simple change in focus. Another key aspect of bending reality is understanding the power of our beliefs. Our beliefs act as filters through which we perceive and interact with the world. They shape our expectations, which in turn influence our experiences. For example, if you believe that people are generally untrustworthy, you'll likely interpret others' actions in a way that confirms this belief. You might be more guarded in your interactions, which could lead others to respond in kind, thus reinforcing your initial belief. On the other hand, if you believe that people are generally good and trustworthy, you're more likely to have open, positive interactions that confirm this belief. The tricky part is that many of our most powerful beliefs operate at a subconscious level. We're not always aware of the assumptions we're making about the world. This is why self-reflection and introspection are so crucial. We need to bring these hidden beliefs into the light of consciousness so we can examine them and decide if they're serving us. One way to uncover these hidden beliefs is to pay attention to your emotional reactions. When you feel a strong emotional response to something, especially if it seems out of proportion to the situation, there's often a belief at play. Ask yourself, what would I have to believe for this situation to provoke such a strong reaction? Once you've identified a belief that's not serving you, the next step is to consciously choose a new belief. This isn't about deluding yourself or pretending to believe something you don't. It's about opening yourself up to new possibilities. For instance, if you've identified a belief like, "I'm not good enough," you might choose to adopt a belief like, "I am constantly growing and improving." This new belief acknowledges that you're not perfect, but it opens the door to growth and possibility rather than shutting it. Changing deep-seated beliefs takes time and consistent effort. It involves not just affirming the new belief, but looking for evidence to support it and acting in accordance with it. Over time, as you accumulate experiences that align with your new belief, it will become your new reality. Now, let's talk about the role of emotion in bending reality. Emotions are incredibly powerful. They're not just reactions to our experiences. They're also creative forces that shape our reality. Think about how different the world looks when you're feeling joyful compared to when you're feeling depressed. Your emotional state colors your perceptions, influences your decisions, and affects how others respond to you. In essence, your emotions are constantly sending out vibrations that interact with the world around you. This is why practices like gratitude can be so powerful. When you cultivate feelings of gratitude, you're not just making yourself feel better, you're actually changing the frequency of the vibrations you're sending out into the world. This, in turn, affects what you attract and how you perceive your experiences. But here's a crucial point. The goal isn't to always feel positive emotions. That's not only unrealistic, but it can also lead to suppression and denial of our true feelings. Instead, the key is to develop emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize, understand, and work with our emotions in a conscious way. This means allowing ourselves to feel whatever we're feeling, but not getting stuck in negative emotional states. It means using our emotions as information and guidance, rather than being controlled by them. When we can do this, we can harness the creative power of our emotions without being at their mercy. Another important aspect of bending reality is understanding the power of our words. Language is not just a tool for communication, it's a tool for creation. The words we use, both in our internal dialogue and in our interactions with others, have a profound impact on our reality. Pay attention to the language you use to describe yourself and your experiences. Are you constantly using words like can't, should, or have to? These words often reflect and reinforce limiting beliefs. Try replacing them with more empowering language. Instead of I can't, try I choose not to. Instead of I should, try I could if I wanted to. This shift in language might seem small, but it can have a big impact. It moves you from a position of powerlessness to one of choice and possibility. It reminds you that you are the author of your own story. Speaking of stories, let's talk about the power of narrative. We are all constantly telling stories about ourselves, about others, about the world. These stories shape our reality in profound ways. Consider the story you tell about your life. Is it a story of struggle and hardship, of triumph over adversity, of constant growth and learning? The narrative you choose doesn't just reflect your experiences, it shapes them. It influences how you interpret events, what opportunities you notice, and how you respond to challenges. This doesn't mean we should ignore difficulties or pretend everything is perfect, but we can choose to frame our experiences in a way that empowers us rather than victimizes us. We can choose to see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable obstacles. Try this. Take a challenging situation in your life and consciously reframe it as part of a larger, more empowering narrative. How might this situation be serving your growth? What strengths might you be developing through this challenge? How could this experience be preparing you for future opportunities? Now let's address a common misconception about this teaching. Some people interpret the idea of bending reality as a kind of magical thinking, that if we just believe hard enough, we can make anything happen. This is not only inaccurate, but it can also be harmful. The universe operates according to certain laws and principles. We can't simply wish these away. What we can do is work in harmony with these laws, aligning our thoughts, beliefs, and actions in a way that increases the likelihood of our desired outcomes. This requires a balance of faith and action. We need to believe in the possibility of what we want to create, but we also need to take concrete steps towards it. It's not about sitting back and waiting for the universe to deliver. It's about actively co-creating with the universe. This brings us to another crucial point: responsibility. With the power to bend reality comes great responsibility. Our thoughts, beliefs, and actions don't just affect us. They ripple out and affect the world around us. This means we need to be mindful of what we're putting out into the world. Are our desires aligned with the greater good? Are we considering the potential consequences of what we're trying to create? Are we acting from a place of love and compassion, or from fear and ego? These are important questions to consider as we work with this teaching. It's not just about getting what we want. It's about consciously participating in the creation of a better world for all. As we near the end of this second part, I want you to reflect on this. What reality are you currently creating, consciously or unconsciously? What story are you telling about yourself and your life? And most importantly, what reality do you want to create? Remember, bending reality isn't about instantly manifesting your every desire. It's about aligning yourself with the flow of the universe, consciously choosing your thoughts and beliefs, and taking inspired action towards your goals. It's a process that requires patience, practice, and persistence. In the next part, we'll explore some advanced techniques for working with this teaching, including how to navigate the challenges and setbacks that inevitably arise on this path. We'll also discuss how to maintain balance and groundedness as we expand our understanding of reality. Until then, I encourage you to start experimenting with these principles in your daily life. Pay attention to your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. Notice the stories you're telling, and most importantly, stay open to the possibility that reality might be more flexible and responsive to your inner state than you've previously believed.